Today I want to talk about a phrase that will be familiar to all of us, but it's a phrase that is often misunderstood within the Christian religion, which is grown up around the Bible and the New Testament, certainly. What people tend to do is they come to the New Testament scriptures and they read them and they inject their own meaning to words that have a meaning very definitely already in the Bible. And this is a good example of that. The analogy that I've given before is that it's like coming to a recipe for an apple pie and misunderstanding what the word apple means and thinking that instead it refers to oranges, and what you would end up with is an orange pie, which wouldn't really be what was meant, obviously, and it would create a pie, but it wouldn't create the original intended pie. The way, the truth, and the life are all very definite things. So when Yeshua said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father except through me," that has become you need Jesus to come to the Father, which, as we'll see towards the end, may hold certain truths, but it's certainly not what is meant by "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And you need these things to come to the Father, because that's what I am. In Psalm 119 verse 1 it says, "Blessed are the perfect in the way." How are you perfect in the way? You follow the Torah of Yehovah. Torah is another word which is misunderstood, translated as law, but that's not really what it means. It means teaching and direction. So the law of God is really the teaching and direction of God, and all of the scriptures are referred to as the Torah in different parts. Yeshua refers to the Psalms, the prophets, as the Torah of Yehovah. So to translate it as law isn't really quite what is meant. Again, it's like taking the instructions to an apple pie and coming up with an orange pie instead. If you think that the law is some kind of curse that has been done away with, or that the old covenant was something that you needed to be set free from, then you've misunderstood who Yehovah is. If you think that he would make a covenant with people that he then needed to set people free from, you've misunderstood something. And if you think that the Torah and the covenant are one and the same, then you've misunderstood something. The Torah is something that he gifted to people whom he was in covenant with, like his teaching and direction about how to live life, about his ways, what he expected of his people. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not have this. They walked in a way that they thought was good before Yehovah, but the law, according to Paul, or the Torah more rightly, was added because of transgressions. We see that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob all do things that are against the ways of Yehovah. So we have the teaching and direction of Yehovah to walk in his way. Blessed are the perfect in the way, who walk according to his teaching and direction. Malachi 2 verse 8 says, "But you have turned from the way. You have caused many to stumble in the Torah. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi, said Yehovah Sabaoth." The Levites, of course, were to teach people what the teaching and direction of Yehovah is and was. But they didn't do that. That's what they're being rebuked for here in the book of Malachi. They didn't discern between the clean and the unclean, the holy and the unholy. And they have caused many to stumble. Regrettably, that's also true of teachers within Christianity. They didn't really realize that they were supposed to be making an apple pie and taught everyone about the orange pie instead. Genesis 18 verse 19 says, "This is why Yehovah chose Abraham, for I have known him, so that he commands his children and his household after him to keep the way of Yehovah." That's what Yeshua said that he was. I am the way, the truth, and the life. To do righteousness and justice, so that Yehovah brings to Abraham what he has spoken to him. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and my charge, my commands, my laws, and my Torah. Torah is the plural of Torah. Torah is a feminine word in Hebrew, so it has the "a" ending. The plural of the "a" is ot. You have the masculine plural is im, like cherubim or cherubim in Hebrew, which is the plural of a cherub or a keruv in Hebrew. That's masculine. We see with the word sukkah. A sukkah is a temporary dwelling of some kind of construction in which you can dwell. The plural of sukkah is sukkot. So Torot is the plural of Torah. It's my teachings and directions. Judges 2 says, "I also shall no longer drive out before them, Israel, any of the nations which Yehoshua left when he died, in order to try Israel by them, whether they would keep the way of Yehovah to walk in them, as their fathers kept them, or not." So the way of Yehovah is referred to in the plural here. It is Torah, his teachings and directions. They will be tried by various means to see whether they will keep the way of Yehovah, and we are tried similarly whether we will keep his ways, the good way to walk before him. Of course, there was a video last year just called The Way, which will better explain, in more detail explain exactly what the way is, what Yeshua was claiming to be. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So if you're interested in knowing better what Yeshua was, then check out this video. So that is the way aspect of what Yeshua said. The way, the truth is next. In 1 John 5 verse 6, it tells us that the Spirit is the truth, which is interesting when considering who Yeshua is. He is the truth. The Spirit of Yehovah is the truth as well. The Spirit, of course, is what inspires the word, what gave prophecy, what gave us the word of Elohim. People writing rather by the Spirit of Elohim. In Psalm 119, it tells us your Torah is truth, or your law is truth in some translations. But your teaching and your direction is truth. In verse 160 it says, the sum of your word is truth. That's all of your word. There's not parts of your word that are done away with after a while. All of it is truth. Your righteous justices are forever. Don't be fooled by anyone who tells you that things that Yeshua says at one point are done away with, or that you're freed in some way from what Yeshua has declared. His teaching and direction is truth, and it lasts forever, of course. Of course, we know Yeshua told us that Yahweh, the Father's word, is truth. He also refers to it as his word. 1 John 5:11-12 says, Elohim has given us everlasting life, and this life is in his Son. Of course, he's not just the way, he's not just the truth, he is also the life. This life is in his Son. He who possesses the Son possesses life. He who does not possess the Son of Elohim does not possess life. And when we reckon with who the Son of Elohim is, then as we will, then maybe this statement makes more sense. Deuteronomy 8 says that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yehovah. That is life to us. Not choosing Yehovah's teaching and direction brings death, of course. Proverbs 13 says, he who despises the word is destroyed. Being destroyed is, of course, the spiritual death, the death of your soul. But he who fears the command is rewarded. The Torah of the wise is a foundation of life. The teaching and instruction of the wise, not the law of the wise. What they use as teaching and direction. Turning one away from the snares of death. So you turned away from the snares of death, and living by Yehovah's Torah is what will bring life to you. And this is what Yeshua is claiming to be, or better phrased as that is what Yeshua is. Psalm 119:93 says, let me never forget your orders, that is Torah, part of his Torah. For by them you have given me life. And this is completely incongruent with the idea that the law is done away with, that his commands, his instructions, his orders, his justices, his statutes, that they have in some way passed away because Jesus died. That just doesn't make any sense. They are there to give us life. The righteous lives by faith, and of course faith is seen in doing what Yehovah instructs, his way, his truth. If you believe that it is truth, of course you will do it, and by that faith you will live. Deuteronomy 30 says, see, I have set before you today. What did he set before them that day? He set before them the Torah of Yehovah. Deuteronomy is, of course, an amalgamation of two words, Deuteros meaning second, and nomos meaning law. It's a translation of the word Torah. So it's the second Torah. It's the second time that it was given. The first time we read of the Torah, it's Yehovah giving it to Moses and saying, teach this to the children of Israel. The second time we read of it, it's Moses telling it to the children of Israel. And he says to them, I have set before you today life and good, and death and evil, in that I am commanding you today to love Yehovah your Elohim, to walk in his ways, the way, and to guard his commands and his laws and his justices, which is his Torah, his teaching and direction. And you shall live and increase, and Yehovah your Elohim shall bless you in the land which you go to possess. So we see there that the way is Yehovah's truth, and it brings life. You have an option to follow the Torah, and that brings life and good, or to disregard it, maybe believe what some preacher told you about it, that it has been done away with, as if life itself could be done away with, and that will lead to death and evil, not what we want, of course. Psalm 119:25 says, my soul has been clinging to the dust. Give me life according to your word. All of these things, the way, the truth, and the life, are Yehovah's word. And if any of this is new to you, and you're thinking, wait there, doesn't Paul say that no flesh is justified by the Torah, or a multitude of other things, I would point you to this video, because a lot of what you have heard may not be true, or is not true, if you think the New Testament teaches against following the Torah. So what was Yeshua communicating? Obviously we're not in his mind, but I think it's very likely that what he was communicating is this. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. He was in the beginning with Elohim. All came to be through him. Without him, not even one came to be that came to be. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Many times people will remember Yeshua's words as, I am the way, the truth, and the light. And while that is not what Yeshua said, it is certainly true. He was the life, and the life was the light of men. So what is the light of men? Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path, says David, a man. So the word is the light of men. And Yeshua was the word made flesh. In John 10:10, Yeshua said, the thief does not come except to steal and to slaughter and to destroy. I have come that they might possess life, and that they might possess it beyond measure. That is what the word of Elohim is for. It is the way that we should be. It is the life that we are promised by Elohim if we stay in Christ, in Messiah, in the Word. If we stay in the Word, then we will inherit everlasting life. Hasatan has come to give us the opposite, to give us death and evil. Yeshua came to bring us life and good. He sets before us the same choice that Moshe did. I set before you this day life and good, and death and evil. His word is not to bring judgment. His word is to bring life. But if you reject his word, you reject the offer of the life, then you will be judged by the word in the last day, and that will yield death. So when he said he is the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father except through him. He is talking, at least partially, of him as the Word. If you would know me, you would know my Father too. If you know the Word, you know the Father, because it describes his way. John 7 verse 16, Yeshua answering them said, "My teaching is not mine, but his who sent me, because he is the word of Yeshua." His teaching is not distinct. It's not something new. He came teaching the same thing that the prophets before him had taught, that people should return or repent and begin to walk in the Father's way. 1 John 5 10 to 12 is important to consider. The one who believes in the Son of Elohim has the witness in himself. The one who does not believe Elohim has made him a liar, because he has not believed the witness that Elohim has given concerning his Son. And the same can be true if you read Paul's words and you say that they are lies, then you're calling Elohim a liar. You're making him a liar. And this is the witness that Elohim has given us, everlasting life. And this life is in his Son. He who possesses the Son possesses life. He who does not possess the Son of Elohim does not possess life. So this is another way in which Yeshua's words are true. No one denying the Son has the Father. The one confessing the Son has the Father as well as the Son. Yahuwah willing, I'll see you next week.